Hello, everyone, and welcome inside Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea, Ohio. We're on Front Street for episode 17 of the BW Athletics Roadshow. I'm Matt Florjancic, and for the next hour, we'll be talking all about Baldwin-Wallace Athletics. We have some exciting news and some good guests coming up to talk. And on today's show, we'll look back at the week that was a very successful week for the Yellow Jacket program as a whole. And then we'll also bring on some guests. We'll talk to national champion, newly crowned national champion wrestler Jacob Decatur. We'll talk to wrestling regional champion and national runner-up Michael Petrella. We'll also be visited by women's basketball star Lilly Edwards and women's track and field All-American Alyssa Laughner. We'll also take a look at the week ahead. But before we do all that, let's take a look at the week that was. And first, on the wrestling match, junior All-OAC 125-pound wrestler Jacob Decatur out of Akron, Ohio, claimed the NCAA Division III National Championship, and sophomore All-OAC 149-pounder Michael Petrella from Reynoldsburg, Ohio, was the national runner-up. As the Ohio Athletic Conference Baldwin-Wallace University wrestling team finished 8th in the nation at the NCAA Division III National Championships hosted by the American Rivers Conference at U.S. Cellular Arena in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. BW placed 8th with a team score of 36 points. Wartburg was the national champion with 79 points. Decatur won all 4 of his matches. First by a 10-4 decision over Brandon Murphy from University of Wisconsin La Crosse, then a 7-3 decision over Riley Parker from Washington and Lee. And then things got a little bit tighter as he had to pull out a 5-4 decision over Brady Kiner from Wartburg, and then won a 6-3 decision over Carlos Champagne of Wabash in the finals to finish his national championship season 35-1. Michael Petrella won his first match 3-1 in extra time, and then won a 5-0 decision over Alex Villar from North Central College. In the semifinals, he posted a 4-3 decision victory over Christian Rumpf from Wartburg, and then lost 4-2 in the finals to finish his season with a 37-3 record. Sophomore 133-pounder Jaden Hinton finished the season with a record of 25-11. Senior All-American Stanley Blake finished his season with a 31-9 record. He is also BW's all-time leader in victories with 136. The 10th-ranked Baldwin-Wallace University women's basketball team faced University of Wisconsin Oshkosh in the Sweet 16 of the NCAA Division III National Tournament. Oshkosh put together a strong offensive showing in the fourth quarter and defeated the Yellow Jackets 74-63, bringing their season to an end. BW finished with a 23-5 record, and All-OAC forward Lilly Edwards finished her season with a 23.9 rebound performance. She also broke the BW single-season school record for points scored, also scoring in double figures. 2 freshmen, Emily Irwin and Kaylee Ressler, each had 11 points. Indoor track and field saw their season come to an end as senior All-American runner Alyssa Laughner earned All-American honors, and sophomore All-OAC distance runner Hope Murphy placed 10th for the Baldwin-Wallace women's team at the NCAA Division III Indoor National Track and Field Championships at JDL Fast Track in Winston-Salem, North Carolina last Saturday. Laughner earned the All-American status in the mile as she placed 8th with a time of 4:59.57. It was her second All-American honor in her career. Murphy finished in 10th place in a time of 5:21.06. The men's lacrosse team went 0-2 last week as they suffered a 17-16 loss in overtime at Southern Virginia, and then a 12-5 setback at Washington and Lee on March 9th. The women's lacrosse team lost 2 games in Colorado last week, dropping a 17-3 decision to Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute and a 17-10 setback at Colorado College. The Yellow Jacket men's volleyball team dropped all 4 of their matches in California, but before heading west, they split a pair of matches, losing first to Wittenberg and then overcoming Mount St. Joseph. The Baldwin-Wallace University baseball team closed out its 2022 Snowbird Classic appearance with a loss to Babson College at Centennial Park. Although they fell by a score of 3-2, the Yellow Jackets finished a very successful week with a 6-1 record. They are now 10-1 on the season. And congratulations go out to senior Alex Ludwig, who set the school record for career runs scored. Ludwig now has scored 159 runs in his BW career and has helped the Yellow Jackets start the season strong, as he is 20 of 49 at the plate with 15 runs scored, 5 doubles, 2 home runs, 1 triple, and 11 RBI. The Baldwin-Wallace University softball team closed out the Tucson Invitational games by dropping a non-conference doubleheader to Buena Vista out of Iowa by scores of 3-2 and 7-2 at Lincoln Park. In Game 1, BW scored 2 runs on 6 hits as it plated both of its runs in the 3rd inning. Buena Vista scored 3 runs on 4 hits as it pushed 1 run across the plate in the 1st inning and 2 in the 5th. The Baldwin-Wallace University men's team wrapped up their spring break trip in Hilton Head, South Carolina, as they fell to Albion by a final score of 5-4 at the Hilton Head Resort. The Yellow Jackets overall went 3-2 on the trip, posting wins over Gordon, Brevard, and St. John Fisher. The Baldwin-Wallace University women's tennis team split their last 2 matches of the spring break trip in Orlando, Florida. In the first match, BW, who was 1-7 on the year, took down Manhattanville, New York, by a final score of 7-2 at Star Island. And then in the second match of the day, the Yellow Jackets fell to Ursinus College by a score of 7-2 at the United States Tennis Association tennis courts. That was the week that was for the Yellow Jackets, and right now we're going to bring on one of the biggest newsmakers of the week in the national champion at the 125-pound level, Jacob Decatur. Jacob, first and foremost, thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations on the national championship, BW's first national champion wrestler in over 30 years. How does that feel?
It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. I'm glad I was able to do it. I'm glad I was able to do it for the people around me and my support system. I'm glad I was able to do it for myself. It's an amazing feeling right now.
So I heard you had a pretty unique celebration. You did a backflip afterwards. Have you ever done that before, or is that something that you save for very special moments?
I'd say, yeah, probably some special occasions. It was funny. Me and Jaden Hinton, our 133-pounder, he said, you know what, you should do your backflip as a celebration. I was like, you might be right. I might have to do it. So yeah, it was cool just being able to really do it after I won.
What was it like being out there with 6 of your teammates and having a chance to put BW in a top 10 finish, which you ultimately did as the team placed 8th, and knowing that you were a national champ, but a lot of your guys went with you and you had that support system, and then as a team, you were very competitive on a national level.
Heck yeah. As a team, we did awesome. We had a lot of seniors on the team who ultimately probably didn't end up where they thought they should have been at the end of the tournament, but we all competed really hard, and just having them there, having Michael and just the rest of the guys there, even the guys who didn't wrestle, that crowd was amazing. But just having everybody there supporting each other, it was an awesome time.
Yeah, in talking to Athletic Director Steve Thompson, he mentioned that BW felt a lot of love, not only from their own student section and the parents, but they also felt a lot of love when they were going up against Wartburg, because it seemed like outside of 2 sections, the whole arena wanted Wartburg to lose. What was that like? I mean, getting that crowd support even from people who aren't associated with the Baldwin-Wallace program.
Yeah, it was just really cool. You just look around the entire arena, and at one point, everybody was cheering for Michael's match in the semis. Everyone who wasn't Wartburg, but it was an unreal feeling. Just really cool, just a great experience that I'm so glad I was able to get to be a part of.
Yeah, wrestling has a lot of unique traditions, and really they celebrate with the Parade of All-Americans before the national championship matches, but walking out, it almost kind of has like seemingly like a pro wrestler intro vibe, you know. What's going through your mind when you're getting prepared to do that, and then when you step out of the tunnel and you see a whole crowd of people You know, what's going through your mind? How many are there jitters, or is it just excitement? Like what's it like?
No, it's definitely nerve-wracking for me at first, just because I am the first wrestler to step on the mat after all of that, after the parade and stuff, and it's definitely nerve-wracking. But I just had to settle myself down and just enjoy the moment. I was so excited to be there. I was excited to do it in front of our large crowd and my family. It was just really cool.
Yeah, after the last couple of years with COVID really impacting the year, being able to get out in an arena again and have people supporting you, I mean, what does that really mean when you're on the mat?
Man, 2 years, D3 Nationals couldn't happen, but we had it this year, and just being able to witness just the whole fan base that we had at the tournament, it was wild. It really was wild. It motivated me. I'm sure it motivated Michael and all the rest of our guys. And I'm just happy that they could all be a part of it as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You have an impressive list of championships this year. Pretty much every tournament, every invitational that you've competed in, you've been right at the top. You know, you win at Ithaca, then you come home, you win the BW Invitational, go out to North Central, win that Invitational, also bring home championships at the Manchester Spartan Mat Classic, the John Suma BW Invitational, the Central Region Championship, and then the National Championship. I mean, could you have written a better script for this year and what you were able to accomplish?
Absolutely not. Everything that I wanted to do this year, everything I wanted to accomplish, I feel like I've done that. And it was a lot of hard work, but I did accomplish my goals this year. And I will say I got the next 2 years to do the same thing, so I know I can't become complacent, but I'm going to enjoy this one for sure.
Yeah, speaking of not being complacent, one of the things that I noticed is you were ranked #1 for a good chunk of the year in your weight class. How do you stay on top of yourself to, keep that hunger and desire walking into the wrestling room every day, so when you get to the matches, you don't get humbled by somebody that you otherwise shouldn't have?
Heck yeah. For me at least, having Coach Gibbs and Coach Z, having them always in my ear, always in everybody else's ear, just to keep pushing and keep going, that really helped me a lot this year. I owe a lot of my success to them. They always put me in the best position to do really well, so having them around was really key for me this year.
Winning is nothing new to you. You were a 3-time Division II state champ at the high school level. What is it about the big stage that really brings out the best in Jacob Decatur on the mats?
That's a good question. I don't know. I feel like if I'm out there, if I'm out there on the big stage, like, why not go for it all? Like, just put everything on the line and just go 100% at all of it. So, I don't know. That's a good one, though.
Before you excelled at Baldwin Wallace, you started your wrestling career at Ohio State, spent a couple years with the program. First off, why did you choose to come to BW after starting off at OSU?
The main reason was because my older brother Josh came here. I saw what the school did for him. I saw how Coach Gibbs was as a coach for him, and also it was 30-40 minutes away from home, and I know I wanted to come back home. I wanted to be a part of a team where it really felt like a family, I really liked BW.
You had some success while you were down at Ohio State. You went 17-6 as a freshman, and then you competed in one match the following year. What did you really learn at Ohio State that you were able to apply to your first year on the mats here at Baldwin Wallace?
Honestly, just that the mentality of going to work every day and just doing the best that you can at whatever it is. At Ohio State, you just really had to kind of just stick your nose to the ground and just do it. Like, and so really just bringing that mentality over here to BW. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't really want to do, and I'm sure a lot of the guys didn't really want to do, but just reminding myself that we can get through it all, and we all have a common end goal, and that's to be a champion. So it's been really fun this year.
When you get into these tournaments, you have to wrestle multiple matches in a day. How do you keep yourself in good, health? And you're obviously in good condition, but how do you stay healthy throughout an entire season? That's such a grind in probably one of the most physical sports there is.
Heck yeah. For me, I'm not gonna lie. It was my sleep patterns, my sleep schedule. Between matches at tournaments, I would sleep for a good hour and a half before my next match was on. So, and I know the guys are gonna laugh about that one because we even bought a air mattress for the last half of the season just so guys could sleep on it. But but yeah, definitely the sleep for me, and also the nutrition, like having Gibbs stay up on what I was eating and what we were putting in our bodies, just all the healthy stuff, and it paid dividends towards the end of the season.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The win in the national championship gives you a little bit of bragging rights at the family dinner table now. As you mentioned, your older brother Josh went here to Baldwin Wallace. He's a graduate in the class of 2017. He was a two-time NCAA tournament qualifier. How's it feel to have some bragging rights over big brother?
It's funny. It's funny because I owe a lot of my success to him as well. I pulled it out. I pulled it out before both him and my twin brother, but I don't know. I'm not one to brag, but I did pull it out before them. So it's a good feeling.
You're not one to brag, but we can brag on your behalf that you were the one that brought home the championship. And, oh, by the way, you might be able to add some more hardware to that total before you were all said and done.
Heck yeah.
So, speaking of that, you only lose one match this year. Does that bother you at all that you had that one in the right-hand column? I mean, you won 30+, but does that one stick out to you?
No, absolutely. It definitely does. The West Liberty kid, they actually did really well in their Division II Nationals this past weekend as well. He actually won it, but it does bother me because I know I can beat him. It was a 2-0 loss, and it was a close one. I was a little bitter about it at first, but yeah, it's all good. One loss, but I know I could beat him.
Yeah, that's an impressive total what you were able to run off this year. One of my final questions before we let you go, Jacob, and we appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
What do you do for an encore next year?
Hopefully go undefeated and win another title. If we could do it as a team, that would be so great, and I think we really can. We have a great group of guys here, talented group of guys here. If we could all pull it out as a team, that would top it right there.
Are you going to stay at the same weight class and try to defend your title, or are there any ideas of moving up?
No. I'll stay at 125. I'm a little small for 33, but yeah, I'll definitely try to stay and defend my title.
Very cool. Well, Jacob, I look forward to seeing what you can do next year, as we all do on the mats, but take some time, enjoy it, let it sink in. Yes, national champion, 125-pounder, Jacob Decatur. Thank you very much for the time. Always appreciate it. Congratulations again.
Thank you so
way to represent the Yellow Jackets.
Absolutely.
I know you had you made a lot of people proud this weekend.
Thank you.
And Jacob Decatur, national champion wrestler right there, and we'll be joined in just a second by national runner-up wrestler Michael Petrella as well, Jacob's teammate. So, welcome back, Michael. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
National runner-up wrestler Michael Petrella is joining us now here on the BW Athletics Roadshow. And first and foremost, what was that experience like getting out to Iowa and competing at the national tournament?
It kind of reminded me when I was a kid and I got to see like
all the other national tournaments before me, especially D1, and like it's just exactly how I felt, like that adrenaline level, but also that calmness because I know that I worked hard to get there, and then I'm there, so it felt good.
Yeah, you were highly ranked throughout the whole year, and you went to Iowa and just had a great run through the tournament. End up finishing with the national runner-up and an All-American status. Just being able to compete in that final match in your weight class. Can you put into words what that meant to you, even though obviously you didn't get the result you wanted, but just being able to represent your school, represent your family and their tradition of success in athletics, and then representing yourself on the biggest stage in your weight class?
Yeah, going out there, like, I was probably more nervous to walk up the stairs to, like, wrestle than I was to actually wrestle. Because I knew it, like, all the preparation I've done, I've been battle tested all year. I had 34 matches going into the tournament. I think I was ready for it all, and just to wrestle, like, with a BW single on in the national finals was just something, like, kind of a dream come true, because, I always wanted to be there, and it's with my school that my dad went to, and, it's kind of like a legacy.
Yeah, passing on the family tradition. Your dad had a lot of success. He's a Hall of Fame athlete, was on the 1978 BW football team that won the Division III championship, and then he was also BW's first individual wrestling champion as well. And what was that, with talking with your dad, how nice was it to kind of have the family support as well going into that stage? And did he try to, like, give you any advice on what to expect?
No, he knew to just, like, let me be in my zone. Before a match, I really just want to, like, focus and just, put into my mind what I'm going to do then and just go out there and compete. He was actually – so I got 4 tickets for who I wanted to sit by, and it was my mom and my dad and then their 2 friends. And then so I'm glad that he got to be on my mat because he was my high school coach my whole high school career, so it was kind of, like, pretty significant for me to have him there.
Yeah, just getting to experience that atmosphere with your family after the last couple years and how much struggles you've had to just be on the mat to compete because of the COVID pandemic and what have you. Did you take a moment to kind of soak it in and let yourself enjoy the experience?
Yeah, I did. I walked out there, I looked at my fans, and they're always, that's the best part about wrestling is having, the fans there. I guess I think I should have soaked it in a little bit more because I was just focused most of the time. But, looking back, I'll never forget this tournament 100%. I'll remember every part of it,
You had one of the more memorable moments in the tournament in your semifinal match. You were going up against a young man from Wartburg. It seemed like it was a very partisan BW crowd at that point.
Yeah.
And you had people from every Wartburg rival and everybody who was cheering for Wartburg to lose matches because they needed the points. They needed the opportunity to get points to kind of draw closer to that top spot. Having that kind of support, like, that you probably weren't even expecting,
No.
The whole arena was going nuts for you. I mean, that had to be like a nice shot of adrenaline for you when you had that happen.
It was a good shot of adrenaline. It was probably the loudest I heard the whole entire stadium. It was literally like Wabash, Augsburg, La Crosse, Loras, like all the major schools were like yelling. And then a couple of teams started chanting my name I could hear. And it was definitely, after the first period, I heard a big cheer from our crowd because I didn't, he's pretty good on his feet. I didn't get taken down. And then when I was, like, going to start on my ride, all I heard was just, like, I couldn't even hear my thoughts. I couldn't hear anything. And then once I locked in the double stall calls and I got a point, that's when everyone just was going crazy and stuff.
Yeah, that's a nice memory that you're going to have for a while. I would imagine there aren't too many things that are going to feel better than that.
Yeah, I will never forget that much.
Looking at what your teammate was able to accomplish, Jacob, you watched it before you took the mat. You watched him win the national championship. Just how much pride do you have in what you were able to see him accomplish this season?
Oh, man, he's like hands down, he's the best wrestler in D3, pound for pound. He's got everything. He's got that double leg. He's got the escape. He's got top, bottom, neutral. Like, he's just an overall well-rounded guy. He's improved throughout the season, even coming back from Ohio State. Like, he's just wanted to improve the whole time, and I had no doubt that he was going to win a natty title. And just watching him throughout the tournament, like, he had a hard couple of matches, but man, did he like dominate all of them. Like, I don't think he was close to anyone. No one was close to him.
Yeah. And really, when you look at what you were able to accomplish as well, I mean, a 3-1 win in extra time in your first match, then you win a 5-0 decision over a North Central wrestler, and then 4-3 over Christian Rump from Wartburg. I mean, you were able to establish yourself as a top flight. I mean, you had a great ranking going in, but you were able to back that up. How hard was that?
It was pretty hard, especially my first match. I didn't expect, like, our styles were pretty, like, similar, so it was kind of, like, hard to, differentiate between when I took a shot and, like, when he did. So that match was pretty, I mean, everyone's good there. It was pretty close, but I just think I just kept wrestling, and, no one wanted to keep wrestling with me after the third period. So
I mean, you finish your season with a 37-3 record, so you were available for as many matches as you could be. And like I asked Jacob, how are you able to stay healthy in such a physically demanding sport where, you're not only competing in the wrestling room at practice to make yourself better, you're competing on the mats, but you also have to, monitor your weight and that added element that some athletes don't have to worry about, but you do. How are you able to stay physically healthy enough to compete at the national tournament?
Coach Gibbs has a really good program for us. He knows our bodies. He knows when we need a rest and stuff. And I guess I've been blessed with, like, no injuries. Like, I mean, I've been worn down this season. I've been tired. I've been sore, but I've never had anything, like, stick with me. So there's been a lot of injuries on the team, and I'm just blessed not to have any of them.
Well, I'm going to knock on some wood here for you for future seasons that you are just as healthy as you were this year. But and like I asked Jacob, that one loss sticks out to him. Those three are obviously, the last one especially, they're going to stick with you. What kind of motivation does that give you going into the off season to get ready for next year and maybe running down that national championship?
Yeah, I don't know. It still stings. I'm just going to use that as motivation because I know that, like, even if this kid's leaving, like, I know that I'm going to be on top and people are going to want to take me down. So it's going to be even harder than just coming from the bottom and, no one really knows who I am. So I'm going to have a target on my back, but I'm staying up here during the summer and I'm going to be working hard. So
about how much time between now and next season do you take to just kind of decompress from the season, let your body heal, catch up on your academic work, and before you really start getting into preparations for next year?
I start lifting next week, if you want to ask me. So coach, I'm going to keep you off the mat and I'm going to keep you off everything for this week. But next week, next Monday, you're starting lifting. I was like, okay. I do actually, I qualified for like this freestyle and Greco-Roman thing, and like, I don't know exactly where that, but I got an email from the NCAA, so I'm gonna go head over that during May. It's like a freestyle open for it's like a world team trials thing for juniors. So
how cool was that to get the invitation from the NCAA that they want you to be a part of that tournament?
It was pretty good. It's only top 3 for NC Division 3, Division 2, and Division 1, so it's pretty good.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask this last question. So before we let you go, since you've gotten back to Berea, have you allowed yourself to enjoy some Spud Nut Donuts after a season well done?
I haven't yet. I will be going, but I'm going on Wednesday because I haven't had much time.
You're going to take Jacob with you?
Yeah. A bunch of people are going to go, actually.
Very, very good. Michael, I appreciate the time. Congratulations on the national runner-up finish.
Thank you.
Excellent job out in Iowa. Look forward to what the future holds for you.
Thank you.
That's Michael Petrella, the national runner-up in his weight class. And right now we're going to switch gears to women's indoor track and field, and we're going to bring on Alyssa Laughner, and now a 2-time All-American yellow jacket. Uh-oh. There we go. Little technical difficulty, no big deal. We got it. First and foremost, Alyssa, thank you for joining us. Congratulations on the All-American honor.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pleasure. Firstly, how does it feel to earn your second All-American honor with your 8th place finish in the mile?
It feels really good. Honestly, I think I'm a lot more proud, of this one than my last one, just because it really wasn't my event, and I was kind of just going into it just to have some fun and kind of really surprised myself, and it gave me a lot of confidence going into outdoor.
When you say it's not your event, what on the indoor side is your specialty, and how were you able to find success in something that you don't typically isn't your best event?
Yeah, I was kind of went into the season mostly interested in the 5K, 3K, and I run the mile on some off weekends, and I kind of just ran it one weekend. I was like, coach, this is just feeling really good right now, a lot better than the 5K or the 3K swing. It's just kind of working with me right now, so we're just gonna go with it, I guess. So it was just a lot of fun to kind of do something a little bit different, and so yeah, it was just a lot of fun to kind of switch gears a little.
Well, I'd say it was job well done when you bring home an All-American honor, and it just kind of like your side event. That's just what you do when you want to change a pace. That's pretty impressive. What was the season like as a whole on the indoor side?
It was really good. This is, I think, so far been one of my favorite seasons. Just because we haven't really had a normal sports season in a long time, just because of COVID. We got to do some traveling, got to go out of conference. Indoor is one of my favorite seasons out of all 3 of them, so it was just fun to get to do that again, the way that we've always just done it. So it was just a lot of fun. My teammates have just been a blast to be around, especially for it being my last year, and so it's just been such a great time just getting to travel and just run again and just spend time with them. So the season as a whole has just been amazing.
Why is indoor your favorite? Because for those who don't know, you are one really talented cross-country runner, and you're also an outstanding track athlete. What makes indoor special in your mind?
There's no weather.
There you go.
I get to run in the same conditions every day. I get to be warm. So it's just fun. I like running on the indoor track. It's just fun. I enjoy it. My teammates are kind of a little bit impartial when we do workouts. I could do every day inside, but so yeah, just no weather. It's nice for me. I like to be warm.
Being a distance runner, I've talked to some over the years that actually prefer it to be in the high 40s, low 50s, clear. Obviously, not a whole lot of wind and precipitation to deal with. You that same way? Is that?
Yeah, definitely. Today was even today it was maybe a little too warm, I think, for a race. I could do a nice high 40s, 50s, even some 60s would be nice. No wind, that's perfect, I think, especially for outdoor.
Yeah, looking at, in addition to being an All-American, you were all OAC in the medley, 1,000 meters and a 1 mile. I believe you finished first in all of those events. How were you able to have that kind of success at the OACs?
I just think just having my coach just really kind of preparing me to be ready for that, just because I typically do run the 5K, 3K at conference, so we kind of sat down I think this is going to be a really good setup for you for conference, and I was yeah, I agree. And then also just my teammates and just getting to be in events running the mile with Cassie and getting to run the 1K with Cassie, and then having some of my best friends on the DMR, it just makes it easy to enjoy it. So just getting to go into conference and just running those events that are just feeling good for my body, and then also getting it to do with my best friends, it just makes it easy to enjoy it.
Yeah, similar to what I asked Jacob and Michael, you're at a very physically demanding sport. There's no timeouts. You've got to keep going. How are you able to stay healthy through such a rugged schedule?
Yeah, I think kind of making the timeouts for me when I can put that in my schedule. So any days that we're not doing a workout or a long run, I'm either in the pool or on the bike, and I don't run those days. So giving my body a chance to rest when I have the time to do it, just because it is so physically demanding, and running, especially distance, is just really hard on my body. So just kind of making those timeouts, I guess, per se, since we don't really get that in races and meets, but finding the time to let myself recover and get healthy and stay healthy.
Because you've done it for so long, is it more of just a physical grind at this point, or is there still the occasional mental hurdle that you have to clear? No pun intended being track, but.
It's definitely, I think, even more so now, like more of a mental grind. Just because like it has been 4 years, like my body is just so used to doing this every day for all year round. So it's just kind of maintaining a routine for like the physical side, and the mental side I think is the biggest grind now. Just because like senioritis, you don't have senioritis hitting in, but also like kind of the pressure, like this is my last year, like I gotta like make something out of it and then make sure I'm not leaving here with no regrets. So it's kind of just staying on the mental grind. Speaking of this being your last go around, what has your overall experience been like here at Baldwin-Wallace? It's been so amazing. Like from every aspect of just, I really have enjoyed my academic program that I'm in. And that set me so up, like I'm going to grad school now for that. And so like all my dreams are kind of coming true with that. But then also like I've had some of the best like people ever to train with since my freshman year that have done some really amazing things both on and off the track. So getting to have them to be my mentors and then getting to be the mentor for the next classes coming in, like that's just been an amazing experience. And I wouldn't change it for the world. Just getting to have like Coach Eby and then also my teammates. Speaking of your major, neuroscience and biology. Yes. First off, what led you to pursue that degree, and what does the future hold for Alyssa Laughner? Yeah, so I was really excited to kind of go that route. I originally had intentions to go to med school, and so I kind of wanted to do something that would get me not something just straight up focused in biology. I kind of wanted to kind of branch out a little bit, so I looked at neuroscience just because I really kind of like that part of biology. And so that kind of led me the route. I originally planned on going to like a residency for psychiatry, but I wanted to kind of have more of a role in therapy and that part of it rather than medication. So I just kind of switched routes for grad school, and so I got accepted to get my doctorate in clinical psychology. So that's my plans in the fall. Very nice. Yeah. That's outstanding. And thank you. Congratulations on getting accepted. Thank you. That's a huge accomplishment. For anybody, but especially somebody who's had to balance athletics and academics. Congratulations to that. Looking back at your athletic career, though, as an athlete that competes in running sports, you have absolutely no seasons off. You run cross country in the fall, then you may get a couple of weeks around Christmas, and then you start indoor season. And then you go from indoor literally right into the track season. How are you able to find a balance between academics and athletics when you're always on the go and you've got a pretty intense major as well? Yeah, it definitely doesn't leave a lot of time to kind of like slip up or just do random stuff. So it's kind of like finding the pockets of when I can get work in, but then also kind of, it's definitely a lot of balancing my priorities and figuring out what are my priorities. So I don't like necessarily get to have a lot of time to go just traveling around and doing a whole lot. So, but getting to kind of spend time with my teammates doing schoolwork or doing it on trips, like on the bus and the van, just kind of fitting it. And when I can, it's definitely hard at times to balance everything. But also just like being honest with my coach, like when I do need a break or need to take some time to do something, and he's really understanding about that. And knowing that we do have other commitments, and if I absolutely need to force something in, like I'm late to practice almost half the week. I think I'm only on time to practice 1 day a week, so I'm actually not on time to practice at all during the week, so never mind. Well, you have a good reason, though. I mean, academically, it comes first at the Division III level, and you've got bigger and better things ahead of you academically that coaches tend to understand that a little bit more here. Before I let you go, there's a couple more questions. You mentioned the relationships that you've built over your time here at Baldwin-Wallace, and one that has really taken off over the last couple of years is with Hope Murphy, and it seemed like you two were just in the fall season, we're just going back and forth on who was having a better day, more success, this, that, and the third. How has your friendship with Hope really developed over the last couple of years? It's just like taken off, like you said. Hope's been really balances me out. I think we're both very different people in the way that we just kind of are. Like I'm a little more, I think, more hectic, crazy. And I always tell her like I'm the crazy one, and she's like also crazy, but a little bit more put together at times. It like makes people like, I don't know, just shows that she's a little bit more together. And so we kind of balance each other out, I think. And so, and it's just really been a great thing to have for workouts, to have somebody who's always putting in the grind and pushing me to be a better version of myself. And so that's just been such an amazing thing to have. And even for races, and like you might have mentioned in cross, like, so I just know that if I'm having a bad day, I know there's somebody like right there behind me or next to me, or even for me to chase to kind of help me get through a bad day, or the fight, like vice versa. So it's just really great to have somebody to kind of count on, and if I do need anything, just know that there's going to be somebody there to help pick me up. And so there's nobody else I'd want to go through how hard and crappy races can be sometimes with anybody else, or even workouts. So
you finish 8th and 10th respectively. You get 8th, Hope gets 10th. You know, just sharing that moment with her, you know, that had to kind of be, it was almost like a passing of the torch. Your last year in the program, she still has a couple of years of eligibility left. You feel like you're leaving it in really capable hands, aren't you?
Oh, I definitely feel like once I leave here, I have no like worries at all for anybody that does come into the program after us, and just because I know she's going to be such an amazing leader, and just be able to pass that torch on to the next person, because they've gotten to be that person that she mentors. Like I had Kelly Brennan above me mentor me, and I kind of got to get a vibe for like how to be part of this team and how to like inspire the next generation. I got to kind of pass it down to Hope, so I'm really excited to see what she gets to carry on this program and how she kind of passes that down.
Very good. Well, first and foremost, congratulations on getting into grad school. That's fantastic news. Congratulations on your All-American status, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you in the spring. Hopefully getting another All-American honor. So thank you very much, Alyssa.
Thank you.
It was great to talk with you.
Thank
Best
you
of
for
luck.
having me.
Yep. Best of luck this spring season.
Thank you.
That's Alyssa Laughner, All-American track and field athlete, two-time All-American track and field athlete. And we're going to be joined in just a second by women's star basketball player Lilly Edwards. Lilly, you earned the right to wear that hat.
My head's too big.
First and foremost, Lilly Edwards, thank you very much for joining us.
Hello again.
It's good to see you. Ladies and gentlemen, Lilly Edwards, women's basketball star here at Baldwin-Wallace. The Yellow Jackets finishing up yet another successful campaign, 23-win campaign. A little bit short of the ultimate goal, but still a great season for you ladies. What you were able to accomplish on the floor after 2 very long years of dealing with the pandemic, having the Sweet 16 opportunity taken away from you in 2020, not having any opportunities to compete outside of the conference in 2021. It had to feel good. I know the end result wasn't good, but it had to feel good to at least get back into the tournament, make a little noise while you were at it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that going into this season, I think that there were plenty of people counting us out of just how far we were going to get in general. I think that we surprised a lot of people when we won the OEC title, and I think that we surprised a lot of people when we got through the first and second round of the tournament. Being able to get back to that place and just, I mean, obviously we were knocking on wood a little bit, but just knowing that the opportunity wasn't going to be like swept out from under us was definitely comforting, and just knowing that our destiny was completely in our hands was something that was definitely exciting going into the postseason tournament.
Why do you think people doubted this team?
I think that, God, I feel like we hear so much about, like, oh, everything that went through with COVID, which is totally true and was definitely a real struggle. But our program did such a good job of using that time to get better and grow closer as a team. As much as I wish that it had been a little bit different, I wouldn't have traded that time with my teammates, like the time that I got with my team, for anything during that time. I think that I just think that people doubt us because I don't think anybody saw our real potential since the team that we were my sophomore year of the 19-20 year. We were just like an obnoxiously talented group that year. And I think that falling back from that, so last year, there was a lot of noise around it just being a rebuilding year, which I didn't necessarily agree with, but people are going to say what they're going to say. But I think that going into this year was kind of just a toss-up, especially if you think about the rest of the conference, like teams like John Carroll, who really didn't lose anybody following last year. We definitely weren't the favorite coming in.
But it was nice to prove when you got the chance that you're still at the top of your game as a team, and
absolutely.
The championship still goes through Ursprung Gymnasium.
Oh, yeah. As much as I would have liked to have beaten JCU during the regular season, I don't even care anymore because of the title game.
That's the one that counts. If you're going to win one, Obviously, you'd like to win all 3.
Sure.
But if you're going to win one, that's the one
I was
to do
gonna
it.
win now. Yeah. I don't even care anymore because you won the title game.
Obviously, a bittersweet ending to the year with the loss to Wisconsin Oshkosh. But overall, it's your final year in the program.
Yeah.
You could have written a better ending, but just overall, getting to enjoy this run, your last run with this team, can you even really put it into words what that meant to you and also your senior teammates, Mairead Liberté, Emily Lyon, and Megan Scheibelhut?
Yeah. Geez. I think that just being able to go out and play our best and reaching the potential we knew we had was just everything. And especially talking about those, like the 3 girls you just mentioned, I live with them. The entire senior class, including Megan Hensel, who originally came in with our class,
right?
We all live together. So being able to just go out and have fun and play because we never knew how much time we had left. And I think that there's just a certain bond, especially with Megan Scheibelhut, that I think that I'll always feel just like fighting to the very end with somebody that just felt so strongly about our program and loved the game as much as she does. It meant everything to go through with them. It wouldn't be, that's one of the reasons why I'm not coming back, because they're not going to be there, and it just wouldn't be the same without them. It meant everything to go through it, especially with the group of girls that we had this year.
Speaking of that, you do have the 1 year of eligibility left.
I do.
We don't have to worry about you popping up somewhere and being on the other side against Baldwin Wallace, do we?
No, I think that that's something that don't get me wrong, I was like, wow, how funny would that be to tease that? But no. I mean, I said it last time. There's nobody who I would rather play for than Coach Hare and Coach Hartzler. I couldn't imagine being with any other group of girls or wearing another uniform. It's official retirement time, and I'm very content with the way that it ended.
The thing that I noticed watching so many of your games this year is just the amount of fun y'all had together.
Absolutely.
It really was like watching a family go out there and compete, maybe a little bit, not just against the opponent, but a game of one-upsmanship every once in a while, because you'd see Megan Hensel start off red hot from 3, and then Megan Scheibelhut would get in on the action and bury a couple from the top of the key, and then it would just continue. It would perpetuate itself, and success led to more success. That bond is just it was seemingly unbreakable with you all year long.
No, it totally was, and I think that it's something that'll definitely carry out past our time at BW. The entire idea, like literally before every single game, we said we were going to win together, we were going to lose together, as long as it didn't break apart. The scoreboard was going to take care of itself most of the time, right? And I don't know. We just, before every single game, we said we were going to win together, lose together, we're going to go out and have a good time. And even if we lost, we went down fighting, and we knew that we did everything we could.
What did it mean to you to get the single season school record for points?
I didn't know that was happening until after. The team was out to dinner after the loss on Friday, and Coach came up to me and was like, hey, I just want to let you know that this happened. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I was literally in the middle of eating. I was like, that's nice. No, it's definitely, it was something I hadn't even considered, and I was talking to my family about it this weekend, and my older sister was like, because I got it on that very last basket that I scored, and my sister was like, that's so crazy that, like, that was totally a meant to be moment for me. I don't know. I think it's a huge, it's the same thing I always say. Like, I have my teammates and my coaches to, like, is what gave me that. I don't know. The recognition is nice, and the accolade's nice, but it just has everything to do with, like, the bond on the team, and the chemistry that I have with my teammates on the floor is what gave me the opportunity to accomplish those things. It definitely is cool. I'm not trying to downplay it at all, but it's not an individual accolade at all.
Humble to the end. I like it. Do you have a favorite memory as a Yellow Jacket, either academically or athletically?
I don't know about academically, but just as a Yellow Jacket in general, probably Well, I can't decide between OAC championships against JCU that we won, which one I enjoyed more.
They're all good.
Yeah. The one we won sophomore year, the one we won my senior year. It probably is beating JCU on their home court this year. It was just a very full circle moment, and I know it was a direct result of all the work we put in. And I think it was just a flood of emotions from all of the work that we put in the postseason, or even like all of the years leading up to it, in being able to have the trophy with my class was probably my favorite moment for sure.
So looking back on your career, the decision you made 4 years ago, the best one you could have made?
Absolutely. I would tell anybody in my life that I couldn't have had a better experience. 4 years ago, I was considering not even playing. I was either going to go to Penn State and go to school, or I was going to come here and play basketball, and I tweaked my ankle senior year of high school, and I was on the way home from that game, and my ankle was ginormous, and and I committed to Coach Hare literally the next day, because I was like, if it was over now, I just wouldn't be okay with it. And it was the best decision I could have possibly made. I got exactly the experience I was looking for. I got to play basketball in a really successful program for one of the best coaches to ever do it. I got a fantastic education, and I got to do all the things I wanted to do. I got to do things outside of basketball. I was an orientation leader. I was student ambassador for university. All of the things I got to accomplish, I got to do, and I think I did it well. I'm very content.
I would say you more than did it well. You always represented with pride, and that's something that you can definitely hang your hat on, is that every time you put on the BW jersey, you represented the school well.
Thank you.
Before I let you go, a couple more questions. What does the future hold for Lilly Edwards, both academically and professionally?
This fall, I was amongst my official retirement. This fall, I will be going to Case Western University for a Master's of Nursing program.
Awesome.
After that, I don't know. I've been dreaming about being a nurse but almost my entire life.
What is it about the profession that stoked your interest at a young age and really kept with you?
I've been from a young age, my parents put my sisters and I, we were very involved in youth group at church. And so we naturally got really drawn into doing service trips and mission trips and things like that, just volunteering in general. I've been on a bunch of service trips, so I've been very drawn to nurturing, helping professions. And by the time I went into high school, I really started studying science. I fell in love with anatomy, biology, and all of those kind of things. So I was like, well, I might as well. The two things I was most passionate about was science and helping people. So I was like, I couldn't think of a better way to make it combine or mesh together than that. So I guess we'll see if that works out the way I think it's going to, but I feel good about it.
Well, Lilly, thank you very much for the time. It was a privilege to be behind the mic for some of your great moments this year. I wish you nothing but the best in the future. Thank you very much, on a personal note, for representing BW the way you have with so much class and dignity.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's Lilly Edwards, star basketball player here at Baldwin-Wallace University. She wrapped up her Yellow Jacket career over the weekend in the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. That'll do it for our guests, but right now we're going to look at the week ahead, and the Yellow Jacket baseball team returns to the Diamond on Saturday, March 19th, as they host a two-day 4-team tournament at Fisher Field. BW will take on Hiram College Saturday to start the weekend. Then they will host Defiance and Pitt Bradford on Sunday. The BW softball team, fresh off their trip to Tucson, Arizona, is back in action on Saturday when it opens the home portion of its schedule with a non-conference doubleheader against Calvin University on the BW softball field at the Ream Athletic Complex. First pitch for Game 1 is scheduled for 1 p.m. with Game 2 slated to begin at 3 p.m. Then on Sunday, the Yellow Jackets host a doubleheader against Pitt Bradford, also 1 and 3 p.m. starts. The Baldwin-Wallace track and field teams will begin the outdoor season on Friday, March 18th at the Washington and Lee Carnival at the Wilson Field in Lexington, Virginia. The men's volleyball team will travel to Mount Union on Saturday for a Midwest Collegiate Volleyball League match. The Yellow Jacket men's lacrosse team is back in action starting on Wednesday night, March 16th, when they travel to Meadville, Pennsylvania to take on Allegheny College out of the North Coast Athletic Conference in a non-conference match at 7 p.m. on Frank B. Fuhrer Field. BW then returns home to Trestle Field at the George Finney Stadium to host Transylvania at 5 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. The Baldwin-Wallace women's lacrosse team returns to action on Saturday, March 19th, when they host Calvin University out of Michigan in a non-conference match at 1 p.m. on Trestle Field inside George Finney Stadium. Then the Yellow Jackets will travel down I-71 to play a non-conference matchup against the NCAC's Ohio Wesleyan University on Sunday. The men's and women's golf teams, after heading south to get in some practice rounds over spring break, have returned north, and they will officially get their spring seasons underway this weekend. That'll do it for episode 17 of the BW Athletics Roadshow. But before we get on out of here, want to send out some thank yous. First and foremost, thank you to our guests, national champion 125-pound wrestler Jacob Decatur, national runner-up wrestler Michael Petrella, All-American track star Alyssa Laughner, and a women's basketball star and Ohio Athletic Conference Tournament Most Valuable Player, Lilly Edwards. Thank you also to the Sports Information and Athletic Departments at BW for all the work in helping this show become possible. Thank you also to our gracious hosts here at Mike's Bar and Grill and the crowd here tonight for their efforts in making the show what it is. And finally, to all the Yellow Jackets fans, both here at Mike's Bar and Grill and those watching around the world, thank you for your support of Baldwin-Wallace University Athletics. Until next time, I'm Matt Florjancic saying have a great night and go Jackets.